Okay, so this is the tone changes examples this time. So we will give you some examples and teach you how the examples changes its tone.
Exactly. So we're talking about tone changes.
Yeah.
Which is very important.
Yes.
Or no one will understand what you're saying. Yes, it's very, very important. The tone changes in Taiwanese are they're set rules to make, except for a couple of core words that are used all the time. So for example, the word for just day or go. Just for example, again.
Yeah.
Go. It doesn't change tone. Our there's a core, maybe 10 in total that don't change tone at all, and we'll cover those over in time. That's just because they're used all the time.
Yeah.
Your worst words are going to change tone. All right. So the first rule that we're covering over here is nouns. All right. So nouns, if it's 2 syllables, 3 syllables, 4 syllables, just bi, tri, quad syllable, then the first syllables, or every syllable except for the last syllable, is going to change tone.
Yeah.
All right. Your last syllable, your last character, because Taiwanese are kind of just as dialect of Mandarin, which use characters, will not change tone. All right.
Yeah.
And so, for example, I guess if I could, I guess the equivalent of last time is you said something like computer.
A computer.
Computer, perhaps. And so, what would happen would be ter would not change its syllable, would not change the tone itself. It would keep its original tutor, but compute would change.
Yes.
All right. So, come would change to a different tone. Compute would change to a different syllable, and then would not change. So each syllable would change, and each syllable represents its corresponding character or meaning in Taiwanese.
Okay.
Sorry, it took a while to think of that. I don't know. I was trying to think of a better example.
Yeah.
I can't think of one. Oh well. All right, here we go. So, so let's look at some examples.
Okay. The first example is the first tone. So the first tone is the word is cha zam. Okay. So cha zam.
Awesome.
So cha zam means the bus station or the train station. So both the station, the stop, the car stop. So you can say cha zam. Okay. So
yes, just over station stuff. And remember, we're talking about nouns. So what if we're looking at a verb? Looking at a verb, it doesn't matter. Verb, then your beginning and end would also change. They would all change. So only with nouns does your last syllable stay the same.
No.
It does not change the tone. All right. So look at these. What kind of symbols do you see?
Okay. Cha zam.
Yes.
So
So you don't see any symbols.
okay.
Right.
The first word we pronounce as cha.
It by itself.
Okay. Cha. Cha.
So it's the first tone because there's no symbols.
Yeah.
So you see it's obviously the first tone. And the second one would be
Zam. Zam. Oh. Yeah. So okay. Cha. Zam. Cha. Zam.
we actually know what we're talking about.
Okay.
I promise. All right. And so, anyways, so yeah. So it's going to happen. Your first tone here originally is high and
High and
flat.
yeah.
So it looks like this, right? And you see the bar going across the A here.
Zam.
Just like so. This is what it originally looks like. All right. So if you were doing this separately, we'll do this to make it look separately. Then we have cha.
Yeah.
And
Cha.
Zam.
Zam.
And the CH together is pronounced sort of like a Z. And your 2 H's here will make this pronounced sort of as Mandarin C. Alright, and so we're going to break this over. We're going to put this together into one word. Alright, so because what we actually have here is that cha means car.
Cha means cars.
And
Zam means the station and if the you can say stand here or zam.
Oh, yeah, like a
so,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so zam. Okay.
Like a bus stop.
Yeah.
Per se. And so, alright, so what's going to change is when we put these together, your first tone is going to change to your 7th tone. It's going to look like this. It's going to, so they're both going to be flat. So again, this is the last syllable in and out. It's not going to change. It's going to stay the same. Your first syllable is going to change from the first tone to the 7th tone. So here we have 1 goes to
The 7.
1 goes to 7.
Okay. So if you put 2 words together, we will pronounce as cha zam, cha zam. Okay, because the cha, okay, tone changes.
Exactly. Do you want to write the Mandarin?
Okay. So.
Or the not the Mandarin, the characters.
Okay, cha zam, cha zam.
As corresponding characters. Yes. totally scared. So remember, 1 goes to 7.
Yeah. So remember this rule.
1 goes to 7 if it's at the beginning of a noun.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let's move on. So next we have.
Okay. The next example is the second tone. The second tone will changes to the first tone. So the example is the next is the second tone changes to the first tone. So the example is ho ya. Ho ya. Okay, so Nathaniel will write the ho ya. Okay, so what is ho ya? Ho ya in Taiwan is a deity. So Taiwanese people worship ho ya for many temples. So so where can you find ho ya? So where can you find
ho ya? What does it actually mean? Ho ya. Maybe we should explain that first.
Okay, so
what does it mean?
What is it mean?
Sorry, we just lost our light.
Thank you.
Thank
so,
you. Wait, what it means is just tag your grandfather.
Yeah. Yeah?
是吗?
Yes.
Okay, alright. And so, what we have here is, we learned this ho before, right? Which is just tiger.
Yeah, tiger.
Alright, and this at the end is just corresponding to grandfather.
Yes.
And so you put them together. The English equivalent, I'm not too sure. There's not really a Mandarin equivalent, to be honest. There's just Hoya, which he's a deity that's found in Taiwanese temples underneath the table.
Yes.
Correct? And he represents.
You will worship Hoya. Yeah, you will worship Hoya to have peace. To have peace. Yeah.
Okay. That's true. But we'll show a picture when we right here. So the actual tone. So original we have tiger. Tiger, which is by itself is a dropping tone. Yeah. And then obviously which is up and down. So the fifth tone here. Okay. And so let's see. Now the second tone is going to change to
the first tone.
All right. All right. And this is the last syllable.
The last word. Yeah. The last word. Now tone changes.
Yes, there's no tone changes. Yes. So just the beginning changes. Okay. And so in why there's actually two words that are put together. It's actually one noun. One noun, all right? And so in Taiwanese, each syllable represents a particular meaning. Yeah. Or sound per se. And so the first ho is just a
tiger.
Yes, just a tiger. And then
ya means the grandfather. So Chinese. Okay. So ho ya. Yes.
So if you hear this, we're actually not pronouncing the perfect pronunciation for over here. It's actually not pronouncing. This is a dropping sound, as the tiger would be pronounced by itself. It's pronouncing as the first tone. So ho, and then adding the fifth tone, which does not change.
Yeah. Okay. So So you separate. Okay.
Separate. Okay.
If you separate these words, and you will pronounce as ho. Yeah.
Like there's a tiger. There's a grandfather.
Yeah.
Then you can say that.
Yeah.
Then you can say that.
Okay. So if you put them together, you will you have to pronounce to ho. Yeah.
Okay. Which is what we're learning right now. So if you go to the temple and you ask for ho ya, then someone will show you underneath the table and you can find it. Okay. Get a good idea and learn more about Taiwanese culture. So awesome.
Okay. Okay. The next
one. All right.
Okay. Okay. The next is the third tone. The third tone will change. Tone changes to the second tone. So for example, 处定. Okay. So 处定. Chhù means the on the top of the house. Okay.
Put these together. Oh, sorry. It's okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. So put these together. Done. And then, sorry, all right. So if we separate these, so if you remember the first one, we've learned this before this school. We've learned before, which is just
住
house.
Okay, house.
All right, so we just
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 住 means house. Yeah, 住 means house. And 定 means on the top of something. Okay, so you can put 定 to any words. So it means on the top.
多定, yes.
Yes, 多定.
On top of the table.
Yes, on the top of the table.
So if you hear we put these together, it just means the roof.
Yeah.
The roof of your house or something like that. And so your third tone is going to change into your second tone. So it's going to become from a very deep dropping pitch to go into a very higher but still dropping pitch.
Yeah.
All right, so if you listen close. So separately we have
处定
All right, and then together, roof, all right, would be, oh, excuse me, together.
Okay, I will. Okay, 处 and 定. Yes?
Yes, but together.
Oh, together.
Together. Sorry.
So if we put it together, we will pronounce 处定.
So it's a much more higher drop.
Yeah, and
处定.
more long.
Yes, it's the higher pitch is also more elongated.
Yeah, so 处定.
This is true. And sometimes you'll see this E written as an I. Just depends. It depends what year of textbook you get, or who the publisher is. But sometimes the E, sometimes the I. Okay. It's still pronounced the same.
Okay.
So it's just 定.
定.
All right.
Okay. The next is the first tone. The first tone will tone changes to the first tone will tone changes to the second tone or the F tone. So why?
Fourth tone. Just the second or
The F tone.
eighth tone. Yes. Why? That's a good question.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what examples we have.
Okay. The sample is ba.
Ooh.
Ba.
All right.
Ba means the duck meal. A duck meal.
Duck meat.
Oh, sorry. The duck meat.
Well, same thing. A duck meal. If you're eating a duck, it's a duck meat.
Okay.
So the same thing. Same thing. So we're trying to get there. All right. As you see, there's no tone markers. Yes.
Well, so
No
because you see the PTKH.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over here you see PTK, so you know this is a fourth tone. So fourth tone is pronounced as a short mid-level tone. Yes, exactly. And then by itself right here we have
Ba.
ba, which would be the same thing because it has an A at the very end. All right. So we have duck and meat.
Okay.
Duck and meat. And so when we put them together, it's a little bit different. What happens if this PTK and H, all right? So if a syllable or a word ends in PTK or H, it means it's fourth tone. Correct. All right, if that PTK or H ending word comes at the beginning or middle of a noun, if it's not the last part of a noun itself, then it's going to change a little bit differently. If it's PTK or H, it's going to become an eighth tone, just a very high, very short, high pitch. If it's an H sound, then it's going to come to the second tone. And you remember the second tone is the high falling tone. So we go whoa. So it's going to like this, and then your ba here is going to stay the same. All right. So it's become ah. So it's actually going to fall, sort of just your second tone.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. Whereas your PTK is just doing your high spirit tone. We'll do an example of PTK here.
Okay.
Or PTK here in a second.
Okay. So it's separate. We pronounce ba. No. And sorry.
Sort of separate. What did you do together? It was a native language. You're used to doing it together and used to change the tone. I would do the same thing. Yes.
Okay. And the meat is ba. Okay.
Duck meat. So together.
Together we will pronounce ba. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And that's because it ends in an H sound. Alright, it ends in an H letter. Alright, so if it ends in H, the fourth tone is going to second tone. So if it's P, T, or K, how are we going to take care of it then? Do we have an example of P, T, or K? What would be an example of PTRK? So look like PTK. 학생.
학생. Okay.
Student. So, so you go. So it'd be the same thing. So you have your fourth here. Your fourth is going to change into your eighth tone because the last part here is a PTRK. Okay. So.
Okay.
We're still talking about the fourth tone and what it changes to here.
Okay.
So if it ends in PTRK, then we have a fourth, and that fourth is going to go into an eighth tone, which is sort of your high short tone.
Yeah.
All right. So an example is.
Okay. So the example is Huat Piu. Huat Piu. Huat Piu means the invoice. Okay.
So this is by itself would just be pronounced as a fourth tone, which in the middle is short. So you see, and then piu, which is piao, which we won't change tone.
Yeah.
So this would change here. That would remain the same.
Okay.
All right. So. All right. So by itself we have.
Huat.
And then.
Piu.
Exactly. And then put them together.
And put it together, we will pronounce as Huat Piu.
Exactly. So and again, your last syllable, last character in a noun will not change tone. It'll keep the original tone. So it's very clear. And this will be the same for any syllable that ends in P or K as well. And remember that if it ends in an H, it's going to change to your second tone. It's going to start to fall.
Okay.
Hopefully, it should be clear. This is very useful. This hot field, very useful. Yes.
Yeah. So.
I was one of the.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. Alright, so next, so that was the fourth. That's the fourth. We had the fifth tone. So what's the fifth tone change to?
Alright. So the fifth tone we will change to the seventh tone.
Alright.
So the example is.
Goes to 7.
Gu Ling. Okay.
Alright.
Gu Ling.
Good example.
Yeah. Gu Ling means milk, dairy.
Or just milk.
Just milk. So we separate.
So yeah, we separate them. Yes. And so what we actually have is two words, right?
Yeah.
And so the first one is cow.
Yeah.
The second one, you would say is like
dairy.
like a dairy.
Yeah.
Like dairy or a liquid or something.
Yeah.
Perhaps. And then let's see. So it's going to change to your 7th, and then it's going to keep the same here. All right. All right. So these are not together. These are together. All right. So let's do it. So if we break these up separately, we have cow, which is
Gu.
Gu. All right. And then we have
Ding.
All right. So we're going to put these together.
Put together, we will pronounce as Gu Ling.
So it would be
Gu Ling.
Gu Ding.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Gu
Ding.
Remember that Gu is actually a very deep voiced voice sound. So it's not like a regular G.
Yeah. So you can't pronounce that Gu or G or
Don't goo.
No.
Don't do that.
Gu.
Gu.
Yeah.
I guess. Don't learn my pronunciation. Learn his. I'm still learning Taiwanese.
Okay. Gu Ding. Gu Ding.
I actually have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Gu Ding. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Gu Ding.
All right. Yeah. But yes, Ling Feng Ying is very.
Ling Feng Ying is.
It's not the best example now, but there you go.
Almost die in Taiwan.
This is true. All right, yes. So there we go. So that is the fifth tone. So moving on next is the the seventh tone, because the sixth tone is only present in Luga.
Luga. Okay. So the sixth tone we would know examples.
Oh yes,
no sixth
tone.
tone. Yeah, there's no sixth tone. So okay, the next is the seventh tone. And the seventh tone will tone changes to the third tone. So for example, the word is 岛呼. Okay.
Ooh, also a good word.
岛呼. 岛呼 means tofu. Tofu. Okay, so tofu. Sticky tofu is the food in Taiwan only. So maybe some people love it and some people think it is
Disgusting.
yes, some people will think it is disgusting. Do you think sticky tofu is disgusting?
I've eaten it. I don't care for it.
Okay, so I love
I can
sticky
respect
tofu.
it. Don't care for it.
Okay,
Alright,
so
it's a horrible area. Alright, good. So this is what we're looking at right here. Alright, and so we have our tofu.
okay.
And these are both 7, alright?
Yes.
So again, the last syllable in a noun's not going to change tone, it keeps the original tone. So we're looking at what's before it, or in the middle. What we have before is, tofu. So just the do part of it right here is not going to change tone.
Yeah.
Right? So if we separate these, we have
豆. Okay. Now.
yeah, that's right.
That's
okay.
the first is 刀.
And then,
Hu.
Okay. Exactly. So if we put these together, that 7th tone, the first 7th tone is going to come
to
to the
the third tone. So we will pronounce as 岛 hu. Okay. So 岛 hu. Yes. Yeah.
It's very, third tone's very difficult. So it's not very natural.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you can order this at a restaurant,
Yeah.
hopefully. All right. So that's the 7th. So next we have
So
the very last one.
The next one is the S tone. The S tone will tone change to the third tone. So for example, the word is 鹿港. Okay. So 鹿港 is area in Changhua. Okay.
We've been speaking about it the whole night.
So-
Hopefully you know. If you don't know where it is by now, then oh well.
Yes.
This is the 8th, and it's going to the
Third.
3rd. Yes.
Okay. Why this area called 鹿港? Because no, I teach you about.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. So why this area why people call 鹿港 as
Yeah, what people call Lugang as Lokang. Yes, that's right.
So why people call this area as 鹿港? Because people came to Taiwan and they sold many they sold much deer in this area.
They saw a lot of deer.
They sold much deer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they
saw a lot
sold
of deer.
a lot of deer in this area, and this area is a port. It's a port. So, lok means deer, and gang means port. So people call this area as lokang, means a port with many deer, with a lot of deer.
A lot of deer port. Yes, exactly. Yeah. We're just gonna. So we're gonna break this up first.
Okay.
So if you see this little symbol right here, the sort of vertical dash, it's 8th tone. So we have
Lok. Lok.
which is just a deer, and then
Gang.
which is just a port.
Yeah.
All right, and then together.
Okay. So we put them together. We pronounce as lokang.
So again, your first part of the word, which is deer,
Yeah.
is going to change into your 3rd tone. So it's going
Yeah.
to lower. So lo ga.
Yeah. Lokang. So in Chinese. Yeah. So lokang.
Sounds good.